Hello, guys. Happy Sunday, and welcome to another episode of Sharing Life Moments with Patricia. However, before I go into discussion and taking your time, I want to thank you guys for those who shared my video last week and those who commented. I really appreciate you guys. I mean, that's what this is about: share, like, and comment so that we can talk about it. So today, the moment I'm about to share, it's this is my story. What's yours? Now, this is what I want. This is how I'm going to start. Of course, something happened. That's what leads to me always talking about this and letting you guys know, what's really happening in the society, you know. And on Friday, I went to work. It was as if my colleague knew what I wanted to talk about this Sunday, and then she showed me a video, which of course I know some people may have seen it, some may have not. Some might be wondering what video is she talking about now. The video I saw, it's very heartbroken. It's very touching. It's something that if you're a mom, it's really gonna break you. You're just gonna know that the girl child needs to be protected. A child generally needs to be protected. We cannot say girl child because some male too have been in that situation and all that. And it has to do with child molestation. Let me tell you, when I was growing up, I told you guys this platform, it's sincerity, truth. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The only way I can lie is maybe I don't want you guys to know what's happening. When I was growing up, I used to remember that from what I remembered, you understand, my grandma, I used to go for holiday at my uncle's place. That's in Bariga. And do you know that I was so young? I was probably 14. I didn't know what it is to be with a man. I was too young, despite the fact that, when you grow up in a place like where I grew up, it's a hood, Festac. Not a ghetto, but you all know Festac town, Lagos, Nigeria, and all that. And then you know the way everybody grew up. Some people think that at some point at a particular, oh, this one has started meeting men and all that, not knowing that that person, you actually have a wrong impression about that person. Now at that time I was maybe 14 going 15. I was still pretty young. 14, I didn't know anything. All I knew was, oh, you have to go to your uncle's place. You have to go for holiday. From there, you know whether you want to be living with him. And then the next thing, your uncle's wife, they will take care of it. They will do this. And then I remember from what I remember vividly that once it's late at night and the wife is asleep, he works into my room. Can you imagine? He will come, touch me. I was too young. I didn't know, but all I knew was always running out. Either I run out or I kind of make some noise that probably will attract the wife or something. But I didn't know what I was doing. But I just knew that that thing he was doing to me was wrong. Touching me, trying to touch me at the places he wasn't supposed to. You understand? But I was screaming because I was too young. I don't know what it is to sleep with a man or anything. I'm 14, for crying out loud. you know he's late now. May so rest in peace, because Christianity has taken over. If it's before, you say you don't care and all that. But then nothing happened sincerely. But the truth about it, that's him molesting me. That's him abusing me for a child. That's him abusing the trust that I have, in him as my uncle. The next time I went back home, all I just kept on crying was that I don't want to go back there. I don't even want him. I don't want to go to school there. I would rather remain in Festac and all that. Whatever it is, I'll, scale through. And this is something, that is happening in the society today. A lot of our kids are being molested. And because we are in a situationship thinking we're in a relationship. I'm really emphasizing on, I'm not being selfish. That's why I'm calling everybody on this. Normally I would say, oh, especially single parents, that you feel that, oh, you failed in one marriage and then you have another one. Because you don't want people to count men for you, you will be afraid. You start saying that, if I break up with this one now, they will say that I didn't make this one work. What happened? Well, that means I'm the one that have issues. You're in a situationship. You're not in a relationship. Because Check deep down. Some of you, your daughters are being abused. You don't even know. Sometimes it has to do with uncles that we keep our kids with. Like my colleague was telling me, her friend told her one story, she started crying. I cried too. She was 5 years old when they took her to her neighbor's house to be taking care of them. Five brothers, five of them were sleeping with her. Her mother did not know. This, and then tomorrow, if that girl grows up to start acting funny, like someone who has bipolar disorder, like somebody who is constantly depressed, you would think, oh, what's wrong with her? It's spiritual. No, not everything is spiritual. Some of those girls look deep. Even men that you live with, your maid, they molest them. They teach them what it is to, you know, do all sorts of things with them. You understand? I mean, when I saw the video my friend sent to me, it was scary. I cried so much. This is like a 7 years old girl putting her mouth on an older man's private parts. That big. It's scary. And I'm sure it's one of those, aunties that probably was rushing to work, nobody to keep her child with. She had to keep it with that uncle next door. I've had those stories. I've had my friend telling me that somebody defiled her daughter, 5 years old. Oh, they went to the police station. What did you do about it? Mom, dad, you have an 18 years old girl. You have a 16 years old daughter. She comes home, she brings in stuff. You don't know where she's getting it from, not knowing that she probably has this 65 years old man. Forget it. Let me tell you, I told you guys, I said the knowledge I have today, if I heard it growing up where I grew up, sorry, I'm telling you, it wouldn't be like this. And I'm not saying it's not, because right now it's really, honestly, because I was able to turn my life around to put things back together on track. I'm too, I used to play growing up, but right now I'm too serious minded. I know I'm too focused to have time. That's why my girls, I try to dig, I sniff, I want to know. I'm desperate. I want to know. I don't care. You will not come. You can't buy me. You can't come with one older man that is over 60 and say, you can't buy me. I've been through it. I've been there. And I know what it is to be abused. I know what it is to be molested. If I can tell you sincerely about that, my uncle, that should tell you that nothing happened, because at the end of the day, I said I didn't want to go back. There's nothing that if they take me back, then I'm going to run away. But I'm sharing this story today because a lot of us, our daughters will walk up to us and tell us that this uncle is doing this to us. We'll say it's a lie. She's false. She's just lying. She's making up a story. What story? Some uncles that are in your neighborhood, Agbaya, not ashamed of themselves. They don't have a single sense of decorum. All they want to do is molest their neighbors' kids. Oh, when they keep them, oh, go and meet Uncle Solomon. Oh, Uncle Solomon. Oh, I need you to talk to my daughter. Explain to her about men. Not knowing that Uncle Solomon, when you turn your back, that same Uncle Solomon is actually the first person that probably disvirgined your daughter, or probably started sleeping with your daughter. And then when you find your daughter being rude, unnecessarily arrogant, talking to you, and there are some uncles, shameless uncles, they sneak into their niece's room, their wife's nieces. The other day I was reading on the news, somebody took your wife's niece that she brought to Lagos to come and help her, 12 years old. 12 years old. He started sleeping and he said, oh, I only slept with her 5 times, 12 years old. Then at the end of the day, when you finish, then the girl now ran away until she now explained that this is what's on ground. This is what is happening to me. Mom, a lot of your kids are crying out loud, but you people don't want to look at them. You people feel that they are lying. Oh, please, you want to soil my relationship. You want to spoil my relationship. This man that God finally gave to me. Who said? Some useless men, you see them as your helper, not knowing that as they're helping you, they're also helping your daughter. I'm talking, in pain today because I have seen worse things. I've experienced a lot of, growing up. That's why it's good to, to grow up and then understand that you went through this. So if they're bringing it to you, it's not new. It's not new because you don't even understand. It's time for us to stand up for our girl child. I'm not saying that men are not being abused too, because sometimes you bring your maid, female, to take care of your son who is just 7 years old. And then if you find out, most men, they will tell you that I started sleeping with our maid maybe like 10. Our maid made me to understand all the things that is happening. Why? Because you're sleeping, you're overworking, you're not checking on your kids, you're not asking questions, you're not discussing, you're not telling them what sexual education is, sex education. You think that, oh, if you're telling her she's not enough to know. Who said she's not old enough to know when the internet opens everything right to their face? Especially YouTube and all that. When they go on YouTube and you don't sneak up to them, you don't check. You just feel that, oh, I trust her. Oh, I know what they're capable of doing. Who said you know what they're capable of doing? Oh, if you do anything bad, I'm going to report you to Uncle Jide. I'm going to report you to Uncle Sam. Who said Uncle Sam is not touching your daughter? Who said? Check. Check very well. Our girls are really going through pain. They're growing in pain. It's affecting their life. They can't trust the men anymore. It's affecting their life even when they get married. Some people, you hear them, you're in your husband's house, you tell your husband, I don't like sex, because you know the way you were abused when you were growing up. Before talking about this, I thought about them. I said, come to think of it, what that guy was doing to me, thank God. Imagine if he was the first man. You say first cut is the deepest. He was the first man that actually, I would have probably killed myself by now, because I would have said my irritating incest, all those kind. Because it's not just when your father is doing it. What about your father's brother? Honestly, I really want us to, look deep into this and then treat it, very well. It's an issue that we should talk about. We shouldn't just allow it fade away. For our girls, it's affecting them today. They can't be that decent, women that our mothers used to be, because, our mothers, they grew up, they knew that, oh, who they married. They brought the man saw a flower and came into their home, and then the next thing they married them. Our girls these days, from 12, they know everything. From 7, they know everything. Because it's either the uncle you put in their care you put them in their care to say, oh, please help me quickly. It's doing something to them. Find out. I'm not saying it's applicable to everybody, but I will say it's applicable to everybody, because it's almost all. You all know what your husband is doing. Some people, because you want to save your face. Apologies to my slay queen out there, my slay mamas out there. Check your home. That's why I said apologies. I'm not, no shades, nothing. But if you're married and you have a niece that stays with you, you have a maid that stays with you, please use wisdom. Call them to the corner. Ask them. It might be brother in the area, anybody. And then when they get pregnant, you say, oh, they're pregnant. Some of you cover them up. You go and get rid of the pregnancy. And the child will still be living with you because you don't want them to go and tell anybody. You will not look at the man and say, you're a monster. For you to do this, you will do this to my daughter, to our unborn child, or to our child. I mean, the men that does this, they are not just pedophile. They are sick. They are mentally deranged. They are not normal. You can't be normal to think that you can only be attracted to a 7-year-old girl, a 10-year-old girl, or a 12 years, or even 14, 15. These are kids, 16. Forget these things that we say, oh, she's already 16, oh, she's already 18, she's an adult. What adults? Let me tell you, adulthood come when you start getting to that age of 28, 29. In fact, when you're still 25. Then you know that, yes, this is typical adulthood. Honestly, I'm really sorry that I've taken a lot of your time this Sunday, but it's something that I want us to talk about. Please feel free to comment. Please feel free to share. I mean, I'm telling you, child molestation is real. And that's why I said, this is my story. What is yours? It has happened to me, like I said, and it could be happening to someone right next door. Please feel free to share. Feel free to comment. Let's talk about this. Feel free to send me a message. Please, let's talk about this. God bless you guys so much. I can't wait to be with you guys again next Sunday. Thank you all so much for everything. Bye.